Hey, you! Get out of the porta potty. I want to start out this video with a question. Do you like you? Do you like you? Because if the answer is no, and only you know the voice that rolls around your head. But if you don't like you, then why would anyone else? Do you like you? If the answer is no, why would anyone else? Life is about relationships. Life is about having amazing and beautiful and encouraging relationships. So it pays to ask yourself that question and to explore that question. But heck, that's not even the real lesson today. The real lesson basically takes place over the course of 2020. In 2018, I walked away from an amazing business. Break Free Enterprises, Pure Energy Wellness, because I had been recruited away to what I believed was a dream job. And coronavirus happened, of course, as we all know. And that dream job quickly turned into a complete and utter nightmare. And then not only that, we had a beloved member of our family go to be with Jesus this year. In fact, this new background that you're seeing us in, it was their house, and we purchased it from the estate to keep it in the family. So that's what that is. So in 2020, dream job turns into a nightmare, a complete nightmare. Death in the family. Kaylee over there, really tough challenges with a professor. And my son right there, the camera, he's growing into adulthood. And then on top of that, the construction project was this house, was a complete and utter disaster area. And that would be putting it lightly. And finally, Kaylee, the champion she is, she turns that negative into an amazing positive. Gunner stepping into his adulthood. He's fully behind the camera now. He's creative. The house project's done. It really, as you can probably see, it turned out beautiful. And the wife and I, and my wife is, she has a background in psychology, so she knows lots of things. And we were out walking in the neighborhood the other day, and I could just feel how happy she was. And she says, this last year, it was really hard. And thank you for being side by side with me the whole time. And I said, I wouldn't turn it in for the whole wide world. I said, I learned so much better how to love. I learned so much better how to be patient. I learned an amazing amount of things. And my wife knows I can get preachy at times, but this particular morning, she asked me, what was the main thing that you learned? And I said, you really want to know? And she says, yeah, I really want to know. And I just asked her, and I'm asking you right now, are you happy? And she says, John, I'm happier than I've ever been my whole life. Going through those challenges together made us grow so much more together. And I said, are you feeling love right now? And she says, man, John, I've never felt so loved, and I've never felt so much love by you. And by the way, once again, I could just feel it coming off of her that morning. And I said, she's basically wondering where this is heading, and I know you probably are as well. And I said, honey, why do people do what they do in life? Thinking back to the model rocket story. She says, well, you know, John, people, they get the job they get because they hope it'll bring them happiness. They buy the car that they get because they hope it'll bring them happiness. They get the house they get because they hope it'll bring them happiness. And she says people do what they do because they believe on some level it will bring them happiness and love. And I said, so then in the end of the day, honey, are those arguably the two greatest things in the whole wide world? And she says, yeah. When you have happiness and love, for that moment, you are touching eternity. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, the greatest lesson I learned in this last year is that I had happiness, I had love. What she had in that moment, the two greatest gifts in the whole wide world. And I wasn't about to let a dream job that turned into a nightmare ruin my happiness and love. I wasn't going to let the loss of our beloved Nampa give away that treasure. I mean, he's up there with Jesus. I wasn't going to let this construction project turn into a complete nightmare. Because when you have the greatest things in the world, love and happiness, we can't give it away over complete and utter BS. In this country we live in, we treat happiness and love like a pawn shop. I told my wife that too. And she says, remember as a speaker to know your audience. I've never been to a pawn shop, so what does that mean? I said, arguably, honey, if people have something that's worth $1 and they go into a pawn shop, they give them 5 cents on the dollar. And I said, that's how in this country we treat our happiness and love. The minute something doesn't go our way, we throw it down like it's a hot rock. So the message today, happiness, love. Life is going to be filled with unknowns. Don't throw it away so easily. Develop the character, develop the stamina to hold on to that love and happiness like it is the best treasure in the whole wide world. And why? It leads to the final part of the lesson. You're at your best when you're happy. You're at your best when you're loving. And every morning, ask yourself, what one word describes me at my best? I ask myself that every morning, and you probably aren't shocked by this. My word is usually enthusiastic. So if the world is providing challenges, why would I not give my best? If the world's going well, why would I not give my best? And if I do that, I don't throw away my happiness in love like it's some cheap piece of garbage. I love to watch the YouTube clip of the 1997 Chicago Bulls coming out to the final game of their championship. There's a great song going, and when those guys jump out into the audience, their eyes are so locked in and they are so intense that they are about to give their best because they want to win the championship for themselves, for their families, for their communities. Kaylee and I, we want you to win the championship of your life. That's why we do this channel. And you're never going to win the championship of your life if you don't give your best every day, and if you don't operate from a perspective of love and happiness, because that's when you're at your best. And giving less than that is just, it's not a good excuse, and it won't get you to the championship of your life. Thank you so much for your time today, and we'll see you next week.
Dad and I want you to win the championship of your life. Every day commit to doing your best.
So please hit like, subscribe, and share, and tune in for our weekly content.